Red Edition, welcome. Happy day. The Clinton family, you know, they got their own set of rules. I got to tell you, not only did Hillary break the very same rules that she made other department personnel follow, but she says, I can if I want. You know, the rules apply to everybody else but them. She reminds me of my fourth, or maybe it was my fifth wife that said, you can be boss bride as long as you do what you're told. Hey, just saying. A law office in Iowa now is rewarding staff members who towed guns to work with a monthly bonus of $50. That's kind of cool. This guy loves the Second Amendment. He's Davenport attorney Eric Puryear, and he wanted to continue the law practice and his passion, or combine them rather, not continue, with passion for the Second Amendment. I'll get all of that out. His law office has a sign on it that says guns are welcome on premises, and what the sign doesn't say is if you do a bad thing, shoot at us, and we'll shoot back, don't you know? Paralegal Elizabeth Payne says that she bought a gun to earn the bonus and now she refuses to leave home without it. She was skeptical at first, and now she's a strong believer in it, and she was like, hey, if you're going to give me $50 to carry a pistol, sign me up. And it's worked out well for her. Liberal, feminist, journalists, and racist man-haters. I mean, they all combined here with Andrea Grimes. She's a senior political reporter at the left-wing woman site RH Reality Check, and she says white guys cannot be trusted to use guns responsibly. It's time to stop giving guns to white guys. Why not? It almost needs a, well, what is silence does that? I mean, how do you even respond to such a remark? President Okami, he's kind of like her, you know. I mean, he has these far-fetched gun claims, and recently he suggested that the country's homicide rate is higher than that of any other industrialized nation by like a mile. That'd be a quote unquote. You know, the average homicide rate, though, among 36 industrialized countries is 4.1% per 100,000 people, I should say. Brazil tops the list with a homicide rate of 25.5. The U.S. and Chile both tie for the fourth position, and the homicide rate for those two countries is 5.2. And the president also went on to say it's easier for you to buy a handgun and clips than it is for you to buy a fresh vegetable. That's another silent moment. A fresh vegetable. I mean, that's kind of like saying, how long is a rope? What has that got to do with anything? I mean, where's the stats to show that it's easier to buy a gun than it is to buy a carrot? Good grief. Now in Ottawa, Canada, I want to give you a little example about how police react to guns. They're overzealous. I mean, if you don't have gun insurance, if you have a licensed, if you're a licensed firearm owner in Canada, you better get it, firearm legal defense, and get it fast, because this is kind of what's going on. This man is 32 years old, and he was drinking and drunk, I guess. He was passed out in his car, and the car was in drive, and his foot was on the brake, and clearly he was doing bad things, okay? And the police came along, and they found him asleep at the wheel of his vehicle, the engine running as said, but he did have a gun, a loaded gun, in his waistband. So they arrested him, and here's the charges, okay? Should be 1 or 2 charges, maybe 3, but here's the charges against the man. Careless use, handling, storage of a firearm, possession of a weapon dangerous to public peace, carried a concealed weapon, possession of a restricted or prohibited firearm without a license and registration, possession of a restricted or prohibited firearm while knowingly not holding a license and registration, occupied a motor vehicle with a firearm, possession of a loaded regulated firearm, possession of a firearm obtained by crime, possession of a firearm while prohibited, and it goes on and on. I mean, we get it. The guy had a gun and he shouldn't have had a gun because he was drunk and he's a bad guy and he didn't have a license. I get it now. I mean, dozens and dozens of charges later. I mean, geez, the police. How many police does it take now to change that, to make it all happen? I was going to say change a light bulb, but that's a joke for another day. Conservative member of Parliament in Canada, Larry Miller, he made a statement the other day about people covering their faces during citizenship ceremonies, and he said, if they don't like it here, get the hell out of my country, is what he said, something along those lines at least, and go home. And a lot of people agreed with him, but the left-wing mainstream press has said, hey, you can't do that. Now, in turn, he has apologized. I always marvel at that. Apologizing is a sign of weakness. Why are you doing that? You telling me you didn't mean it? I mean, you must have meant it because you said it. You have a mind. I mean, everybody agrees with you for the most part. Mainstream people, not mainstream press. And now you're saying, I'm sorry. Why? Were you threatened you'd be kicked out of the Brownies or something? I mean, stand by your position, man up, and all of that kind of stuff. The left wants us to not have guns to defend ourselves. We all know that in Canada. And then you got the crazy people who are saying West Edmonton Mall, we're going to bomb it, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I mean, last year in Parliament Hill, we had a lone wolf attack, and now we're encouraging all of our nut jobs from different places to come and do lone wolf attacks everywhere. And we've even given addresses and so many different things to the crazy people. But the left continues to say, oh, by the way, you shouldn't be allowed to protect yourself. I could go on and on about that, but I won't. I've had enough for the day. Have you? Y'all come back here tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.